All right, guys, here we go. Today's class. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for participating. I really grateful for your time, and I try to give you guys my best. I try to drop gems all the time, so you guys could get it. I try to break it down as best possible. Try to give you guys detail. Sometimes I go over things. That's just so it could soak in your head. You know what I mean? So you guys can understand it. I feel weird. I don't have my mic in front of me. But you guys can hear me well, right? All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
today we're going to be talking about the importance and the impact of credit and how it affects your life. Your mic, Mr. Ash, you're gonna have to mute your mic. The importance of credit, how it affects your life. We're gonna go over some actionable strategies to build and maintain good credit. And hopefully you guys could take that and leverage it to your advantage. That's the whole purpose of credit. Because you can have an 850 credit score and do nothing with it. So the goal is to leverage it up and then use it for benefits and obviously to propel you forward in life, right? So what is personal credit? Personal credit is an individual financial reputation based on borrowing and payment history. The purpose of this, it reflects your creditworthiness, your trustworthiness, and how you manage debt and financial responsibilities. So today we're going to go over credit scores. Credit score ranges between 300 to 850. We're also going to go over your credit report. Your credit report contains about information about your credit accounts and your payment history. All right. Um, as you guys could see, I share this document here. I would suggest you guys take a screenshot, copy it, and every week, I try to post something new. If not, you guys could go to the Discord, go to my channel, and I got a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm actually going to be tweaking that up, which I'm working on that now. For those who were in the business class last week, I have not posted anything because again, I'm it's kind of under construction. Okay, why is personal credit important? Well, uh, it enables you to borrow money for mortgages, car loans, and personal loans. I'm sorry. High credit score, better loan terms, interest rate, and higher limit. Now, I think it's important for people to know that access to money is more important than cash. And the reason why I say that, and I'm not knocking cash, cash is amazing. Those who have cash in recession is king, but we're not dealing with that. The reason why credit is important is because it's easier for you to borrow money versus you trying to save money. Now, think about this. How many people you know have saved up $100,000, right? It's kind of hard to get that. It's kind of hard to squeeze the ability to save 100 grand versus me meeting some criterias, going to the bank, and I'm able to borrow and access money, not just in one bank, but multiple banks, right? So I think that just that alone will help you expedite things like buying a house, cars, um, getting loans, things of that nature, maybe starting off a business. So borrowing money I feel like it's more important than actually having the money. Also, having money, cash, is a higher risk, right? Versus borrowing money, you can always write these things off, and I let the tax professionals deal with that. But I think it's easier on yourself as an individual if you was to lose 100 grand that wasn't yours, versus you trying to save money for 10 years and still don't have 100 grand. And I know people who hasn't saved 100 grand their whole lifetime. So just giving you guys some tips there. I think it's easier for you to go to the bank and borrow money from for whatever needs you need. Also easier qualification for cars with rewards and cashbacks and lower interest rate. So, you get to benefit from having credit cards. I know people who have credit cards, some of my clients who have credit cards A1, and what they do is they have, like, they get free groceries because they constantly, they obviously came up with a method that works for them with the cashback and rewards. um I have clients that have cars with zero interest, and what they do is they constantly swap, they use all their credit over here, and then they'll transfer this credit over to the no interest for the first 12 months or so, and like every 12 months they look for something like that, right? So they living off of borrowed money with zero interest rates, benefiting from cashback and rewards. Some do traveling. So that's very crucial, and I think is important. And also it allows you to build credit history, so you'll be able to prove and show that you have the ability to manage money, uh, and in return, you'll be able to, get more money. Uh, some of us have different goals. Some of us are trying to buy the first home. Some of us are trying to buy the second, third, fourth. Some of them are moving into commercial properties. Right? And you know that the bigger you get, the more capital you need. And the only way you're gonna get to that level, right? It's like high school. It's like school. You don't go from first grade to fifth grade, right? You have to go through all the steps. And credit is almost the same way. You have to show that you can manage this little bit first, and then show that you can manage this little bit first, and then so on and so forth. The more you grow, the more capability that you have of borrowing money for bigger venues and events and such and such. Um, so understand that starting off is a journey. It's always a marathon. When you start talking, when you put yourself in a room with people who are worthy of managing so much money, you understand how they started. They started with small capitals, and they moved on, so on and so forth. So as you start talking to individuals that have, big credit amount, you understand that they went through all these steps. They ain't just jump from one bar to another. Now, there are ways for you to propel it faster, but it's still, and what I mean by that, a lot of people like to use tray lines or authorized users. But I'm gonna tell you something, the banks are already catching up to these things. The more you use them, right, the lower it lowers your chances of getting credit, because they kind of already pick up the pattern. If you have more than two or three trade line, it's like, okay, red flag. um some people position their kids to get authorized credit, but that will also mean that you will have to have your credit on point, because if you put your kid on your credit, they're assuming your credit history. So if you can't pay your bills on time, it's going to affect them. If you have late payments, if you have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, all that's going to do is affect them. So you got to make sure you're online, right? You're the head to the body, right? So you have to do the things that is required in order for the authorized user to be positioned in life. Normally they'll kick off at 18 years old, and that will help them, get in a good position before college, getting a vehicle, um, and things of that nature. I have done pass. Yeah, that's good. No interest is always good, right? Because it's basically borrowing free money. So that's great. Um, rental accommodations. So now a lot of people always think about credit, and they only talk about mortgages, buying a house, buying a car, things of that nature. But in today's age, even rentals are checking credit now, right? They want to see people like landlord review credit history to access reliability on paying rent. Good credit increases your chances of approval. Right? If this person has good credit, that means that more than likely they'll be paying. Also, if they do decide to rent to you and they know you have bad credit, you know you're going to be paying first month, last month, deposit, a whole bunch of stuff, right? You're going to be like, man, with 10 grand, I would have bought a house. And you're just getting into a rental. So just understand that. So credit cards, rental combination, even employment opportunities, right? For those that are in the financial industry, understand that in the financial industry, they are checking your credit, especially if you're dealing with financial roles. They definitely checking your credit card, your credit report, just to check the status of your responsibility. So people in the bank industry, people who's into finance, all these companies are checking your credit. So just keep that in mind. This is why it's crucial to build your credit and take care of your credit. Like I tell people with struggling to pay bills on time, I always say, listen, guys, if you're struggling to pay your bills on time, just call them. Call them up and say, hey, I'm struggling this month. Can you guys give me an extension? And they will extend it. And obviously, your job is to try to figure that out within that time frame. Or make yo, or make your minimum payment, whatever it may be, even if it's $20. You'd be like, man, I might not be able to go out or drink or smoke or chill, whatever it may be, because I need to pay these $25 because I can't afford this late payment. Remember, guys, your payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score. So you could be working on your credit score for 10 years and have A1. The minute you miss one payment is affected by 35%. Excuse me. So I tell people, if you can't pay it, call them. 90% of the time we're avoiding them. 90% of the time we don't pick it up. 90, no, we put it to the side, back burner. We say we pay later. But understand that even if you pay later, it's already marked as a late payment. So again, you want to pick up the phone, you want to call them up and say, "Hey, listen, I can't. I'm struggling. I'm going through a financial hardship. Can you guys please extend me a month? Please extend it another 2 weeks. Can you guys put it on pause?" Especially these gym membership. I know a lot of people have gym memberships and they don't go to them. That's 20, $30 that you could be utilizing either towards lowering your payment on credit cards to lower your interest, right? Because if you're paying if you're not paying, now you're collecting interest payment. So now instead of paying back the principal, you're paying back interest. So they're making money off of you. And obviously, that's how they make money, right? They make money based on the money you borrow and you're not paying back. Because believe it or not, they make their money. If you don't pay them, they still write it off. They'll write it off at the end of the year. The government, somebody's going to pay them, but they're going to get their money back. Understand that when you borrow money from the banks, it's backed up by security insurance. So somehow, some way, they make their money back. All right. Any questions? Okay. Uh, Also, this is a everyday thing. Anybody who's an adult more than likely either has a car or is trying to get a car. Understand that insurance company use credit-based scores to assess your risk to payment. Right, good credit can reduce premiums for auto, homeowner insurance, and rental insurance. So just by having good credit, it just saves you so much money. Again, we forget about those interest rate, and that's where the banks get rich from. The banks get rich from interest rate, right? Because you're not paying towards premium, you're paying towards the interest. So understand that interest. If you understand what cash flow is, you want to keep as much money as possible. So if you're throwing away $30 here, $20 there, $10 here, $50 there, that's cash flow. That's money that either could go into a savings, that's money that could go into a bank, that's money that could go into a dividend portfolio. That's money. Imagine having $80 a week paying going towards Apple or Tesla, Facebook, Netflix, and things of that nature. So understand that every dollar counts. Premiums, I'm sorry, interest rate are very important. Your job is to minimize that or create an asset that pays the interest rate, right? Because if I borrow money, let's say I borrow $50,000 and I have interest rate of 10%, but I'm making back 20% somewhere else, then it doesn't matter. Even if I have interest rate at 30% and I'm getting back 40% interest, right? And somewhere else, it doesn't matter because you're paying that off. And once you're done paying that off completely, that 40% comes to you entirely, right? So interest rate matters. That's how the rich stays rich. Excuse me. If anybody knows these words, ROI, return on investment, right? That's what they look at. These every dollar counts. Um, Utility services. Credit checks. Credit checks are common for setting up utilities like electric, water, or even internet. Right. Solid credit may eliminate the needs for deposits. So just having good credit could you could save that money, right? Let's say your water bill is $400 and you have to pay twice as that on deposit. That's $800 you could have put somewhere else, right? And then you don't even know if you're gonna get that back because if you're struggling to pay bills, you're gonna lose that deposit the minute you stop paying, right? So understand why keeping your credit score high, good credit score with good credit report is important, right? Now I'm gonna go. I know I just said that good credit score is good, which is amazing, but sometimes the credit score doesn't matter. What matters more is the credit report, because your credit score could be down for the moment because you borrowed so much money and you borrowed this, you got that, you got this going over there, and at times you're producing money with the money you bought. So the banks look at that. They actually look at your credit report over your credit score. I just realized that I got a sweater in the beach. I should have put on my Hawaiian shirt on. So good. Okay. Negotiating power. Also, if you have good credit, it gives you the ability to have leverage for in negotiating, right? You get to negotiate leverage good credit to negotiate lower interest rate or higher credit limits, right? So again, it gives you power, it gives you leverage. You get to build worth as well. Building worth, credit can be a tool for wealth creation, for education, for real estate, start a business, invest in the stock market, get a mentor to help you propel in life. So yes, having good credit is an amazing thing. So those are the components of why personal credit is important. Right now, we're gonna go over. Anybody has a question? A question, you could type it up, or you could raise your hand. You can unmute yourself, whatever it may be. Okay. Okay. So, components of credit scores, like I mentioned before, payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score, which is very critical. Timely payments are critical for maintaining high score. The minute you miss one payment, it will drop your credit score drastically. So you want to make sure, everybody always worries about the inquiries. That is the smallest thing on the scoreboard, right? Right? Oh no, I don't want you to check my credit because inquiry. Oh no, but you're not. But you'll be late on a payment. You'll be late on a payment because you don't want to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, I can't. I'm struggling this month. Can you guys help me? I'm having financial difficulties this month. Hey, I lost my job, or, uh, you know, whatever it may be. You could just come up with any story, right? Um, credit utilization. So these are the top two. Payment history accounts for 35%. Credit utilization accounts for 30%, right? Ratio of credit users to credit availability, aim for under 30%. Now, if you're trying to get like a home or you're trying to get a big purchase, I would recommend for you to keep it under 10%, right? Because 30% is already reaching the ceiling. You want to show that you're not just meeting the bare minimum. So if you're looking to purchase a home, a big purchase of any kind, you want to keep it under 10%. And let me give you guys a hint, a clue real quick. Excuse me. Let me give you guys a tip. Um, when uh when you receive your bills, I would suggest anybody who's receiving type of bill, call them up and you say, what day is my statement day? Right? You have a due date and you have a statement day, right? They normally report to the credit bureaus on your statement day. So either ask them what day is your statement day, or you ask them directly, hey, what day do you guys report to the credit bureaus? And whatever day they tell you, that you want to have your payment paid the day before that day, right? Because you paid in full and then you can use it all over again. So it's almost like a hack if you're always short on money, if you're tight on money. I recommend people not to use cash at all, anyways, right? Let me, I'm gonna get off a topic real quick, but still with is relative to what I'm saying. Using cash, you lose your leverage. You always lose your leverage every single time that you make a cash purchase with anything. I don't care if you buy a dollar gum, that dollar, you lost it. You don't ever want to pay in cash. You always want to pay in credit because that gives you the ability to have access to the money twice versus what you work for, right? Remember, we in the trading industry, right? So if you're trading your time in for dollars, right? You don't want to just give up your dollars. You give up your leverage, right? Versus paying for something with your card, and then you take the money, you do a couple things with it. You take your money, you put it back into the card. You just satisfy the payment for the month. So now your cycle is always restarting. You always get a fresh cycle. And also it gives you the ability to use the money again for emergencies, for whatever it may be this month. You know what I mean? Versus you making a payment to the in cash, you lost it. That's it. Goodbye. So remember, your dollars are supposed to be like soldiers, and you're the general. Your dollars are supposed to go out there and recruit more dollars. That is the concept of money. You're supposed to go create cash flow. You take your money, go recruit more money. And then you take that and then you keep putting it back into assets. And then you continue to either grow the asset that you already have to benefit more from it, or you pour into other avenues where you opening up new assets. So remember that, guys, never use cash. Always try to use credit because you're going to lose your leverage. So yes, back to the credit utilization. If you call, find out the day that your payment is that your credit card or whatever company you use is reporting to the credit bureaus, you want to make a payment the day before. So it could show us zero balance. And if you guys tuned into the last class, understand, excuse me, understand that keeping a balance over for the next pay period or bill period is a myth. That's bullshit. Pay your shit on time, pay it in full. It don't matter. As long as you're using it, the credit bureaus will see it. The credit company will see that you're using their card. Pay it in full, and then once they report to the credit bureaus, you'll be able to use it all over again. You don't even ever have to worry about. Consider this: the day that they report to the bureaus, that will be your due day in your head. In your head, that's my due day. That's the day that I have to make my payment, so it can report zero balance. It's also going to report that you made a payment, so it's going to count towards the payment right away. It's going to count towards your utilization. It's going to lower it. So this is amazing. So just that's a tool that a lot of people don't use. try to utilize that tool. It helps you with lowering your utilization, where it accommodates for 30% of your credit score. Side note, actually, if you are about to purchase a home, please don't apply for any cards until you close after that. Yeah. Yes, if you are buying and purchasing a home, obviously they're gonna recommend you not to use your cards at all. You want to show the ability. You want to show the banks or the broker that you don't really need the money that's in your bank. That's just there for that reason. Yes. Thank you, Miss Thomas. You're awesome. So we're gonna go into length of credit history, right? The length of your credit history it counts for 15% of your credit. Longer credit history it impacts your credit score in a positive way. So the longer you have things in your in your report, the better it looks like. That's why sometimes people think like, I don't use this card, I'm cutting it up, I'm not using it, I'm gonna call and cancel. When you do that, it affects your credit because it shortens your credit history. So even if you're not using the card, even if you have a card that's only $500 and you're already up to another card's 5,000 and 10,000, it's okay. Don't use it. Just have it there. Add add your Netflix to it. Some bullshit type of payment, whatever it may be. Your Amazon Prime, $15 or whatever. You add the smallest payment to it and you pay it every month. Now, it might not grow because you probably have things like uh, I lost my train of thought. Like Capital One or Discovery, these companies don't really grow much, but they do allow beginners to get in the door. So if you have them, keep them. Don't go nowhere. Use them for, like I said, small payments, and you just keep them there. It grows your length of history. Also, I do when I'm dealing with my clients with credit repair, they like, yeah, remove this, remove that, remove this. I'm like, bro, this right here is gonna take away 5 years of history. Let me tell you something that really helps, especially for those that went to school. Loans, the school loans, the grants, all those things are amazing because they stay in your credit for 5, 10 years. All right. Eventually you're gonna get forgiven. Sometimes they hurt you, but 90% of the time, school loans help you because it creates a long length of history. All right. Credit mix, a mix of credit types like loans, credit cards, installments, utilities like your rent, your water bill, electrical bill. These things are awesome. You want to have a mixture of them, especially if you're trying to get over to the next level. So, a mixed credit accounts for 10% of your report. So we got payment history at 35, credit utilization at 30. We got length of history for 15, credit mixture at 10%. This is the one that everybody worries about right here, right? People drive me crazy with these inquiries, man. New credit only accounts for 10%. Opening up multiple accounts in a short time can lower your credit score. So this is why we want to do things strategic. When we go to open up accounts, you want to maximize on these things. You want to be able to get multiple accounts, right? Let me give you guys a quick tip. Let's say like Bank of America, you go to Bank of America, you want to open up account. Well, you want to get a credit card with Bank of America. Well, Bank of America allows one application to go in for multiple things. So you just say, hey, since I put in this application, I want you to check for line of credit. I want you to check for if I'm pre-approved for a home. I want you to check for credit cards. I want you to check the whole nine. Check it all. And whatever I get approved for, you get approved. And if you don't, you don't, whatever. But it will only be for one inquiry versus you going to multiple places. Also, let's say you're trying to purchase a car, or excuse me. Let's say you're trying to purchase a car. It allows you, they give you like a window where you could go that week or 2 weeks. I believe it's a 2 week span where you could just constantly check your credit, check your credit. They allow other companies to open it up and check your credit. And then you kind of be forgiven for that. But you have to do that within that time. It's like you're looking for a loan officer that's going to provide the loan, or whether it's the bank, or let's say you go to the car. You know, when you go to the car, when you go to purchase a car, they pull your report all over the place, right? Again, you want to be strategic in how you do things. You want to understand and know your credit score before you walk in that place. And that's how you're able to negotiate. Let's say if I go to a place and I'm trying to purchase a car, and I'm like, yo, I have a credit, I make 100 grand a year. My credit score is at 790. What can I get? First, it's like, oh man, I don't know. And then what they're gonna do is like, oh, you don't know. Now we're gonna play with you, right? So you talk to them before they pull all your reports, right? And they're gonna tell you, oh, you're gonna get 3%, 4%. Okay, write all that down for me, right? I'm gonna check your competitors. And then you just come back, and now you allow them to pull your report. And if your report is better than what you mentioned, they're gonna what? Now you're gonna have to give me a better deal because you told me 4% at this rate, but in fact I lied. I actually have an 820 credit score. So now what? What are you gonna do for me now, right? So they kind you allow them to bite their tongue, and you get to play and negotiate. Remember, negotiating power is crucial. Why having a credit score is important. Any questions, guys?
Hey, I know you said like the inquiries only account for like 10% of your total credit, right? But what is a good number to like maybe stay between? Let's say I want to like open up, get a home mortgage or something this year. Like, is it smart to also maybe like get a car or apply for another credit card?
No, if you're purchasing a home, you want to minimize using your credit. Um, I would suggest I have a man, I don't want I'm gonna be posting this too. So I have like a format that you could remove inquiries within 24 hours by calling the credit bureaus. And I'll give you a guideline on what to say. But what I'm saying with that is you don't want to have no inquiries in your card in your in your report unless it's attached to an open account. So if you tried American Express, got denied. You tried Bank of America, that got denied. You tried Fairwinds and whatever, Navy Federal, you got denied and all these things. Your job is to call the bureaus and say, "Listen, now that wasn't me. Take all that shit off. I don't want nothing that's not an open account on my account." Now, if you do have open accounts, they would typically fall off within the first 1 year, 2 years. They'll start falling off. Actually, if you have an open account, they don't really count those towards like it still counts towards the 10%, but it doesn't hurt you as far as when a broker or a real estate agent is looking at your credit score because they know it's attached to an open account. Now, I would suggest that what's ideal is 2 to 3 inquiries. Anything more than that, you're overdoing it. That's giving me a story. It's like the candles in the stock market, right? It gives you a story. If you have more than 3 accounts, it's telling me that you tried to open up a whole bunch of accounts at the same time. That tells me that you're desperate for money and that you need money. I'm not gonna lend you money, right? The banks don't lend money to people who need money. They lend money to people that want money because they already have money. So your job is to show that you don't need it, that you want it.
Gotcha.
So so you want to minimize how many inquiries you have open. You want to have 2 to 3 max. You don't want to have, like, again, if you have 5 inquiries, that means you apply for 5 things at the same time or within that same length, which in return is going to hurt you in inquiries and it's going to hurt the length of credit. Because if you got to prove that you have something that's 10 years long, it's going to shorten it to 3, 4 years because you just opened 5 accounts versus having one account that's 10 years long. Does that make sense? because length of credit is accumulated by an average count.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering because, like, I mean, I got a Navy Federal credit card with a pretty high limit, but I was gonna like maybe do another one just to kind of maximize
How
my.
long have you had them?
I've had it for like probably 2 years, and it has a pretty high limit. But I want to like just maximize my available credit. Not, I don't really use it for anything but like gas or anything. So payment history is excellent. But just want to like see how I can just grow my credit because I've kind of hit this. I've been at like a 764 and I kind of like hit this ceiling and it's not going up. It's not doing anything. Also, I haven't like had any inquiries in a while. Like I haven't gotten anything, but I'm looking for like probably like to get a house this year.
So what I would suggest you do is, and this goes for everybody, not just Bree, every 90 to 120 days, you want to ask for an upgrade. Hey, do I qualify for a limit increase? And once you reach that ceiling, because every card has a ceiling, right? So let's say you got Chase Freedom, right? I'm just giving you examples. I'm not throwing realistic numbers out there, but just say you got Chase Freedom, right? That card is limited to 100 grand. Once you get to 100 grand, you're not gonna go no more, no matter what. So once you maximize that limit on that card, then you might want to apply for another offer, another card, another ideal card that might work for you, either with them or another bank. But if you max them out every 90 days, especially every 90 days, like, hey, listen, payments are on point. What am I doing that, why would they stop you from not growing if you've been doing everything correctly? Every 90 days, oh, I need a credit increase. What's up? Okay, no, I don't qualify. Okay, then what do I need to do to get there? Right? Excuse me. Yeah, man, I'm feeling sick. I've got crazy gas. Um, so yes, you wanna max that out every single time. All your cards. It don't matter what card you got, right? You want to max that out to the point that it's like, okay, I know this one's not going nowhere. Let me get to another one so I can begin that stage. Um, this is what's gonna give you credit mixture. So you're gonna have different credit. Eventually, you're gonna want to maybe get a car with them, or maybe get a loan for business loans, whatever it may be. All right. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. And increasing the limit doesn't have any effect on like it's not gonna be like like starting my account. I guess like you open a new account, right? It's gonna still stay the same length, correct?
They're either gonna say no, you will get denied, or they're gonna give you, yeah. The length of history stays the same. What's gonna
Yeah,
change?
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, the length of history stays the same. I'm sorry. The only thing that changes uh is either gonna lower your utilization because they're gonna add more money. Let's say
Yeah,
you
my available credit.
Yeah, so your available credit, because remember your utilization is a ratio between your credit used and available credit. So right, and
Right.
let's say you are 30% of the time, but now they increase your available credit, meaning this goes down, right? Because now you have more versus what you used. So it's gonna always, and it gives you room to play with more, right? If I have a
Right.
$1,000 card, if I have $1,000 card, I'm technically only able to use $300 because that will be 30%, right? So you want to be able to play with that to the point that I could use 1,000. Well, then you need such and such amount. Does that make sense? You need 10 grand to be able to use 1,000.
Yep, gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Uh, benefits of good personal credit, financial freedom. Oh, I'm sorry. Does anybody else have a question? Nope. All right. Uh, financial freedom, access to favorable loan terms and credit products. This is why I was telling you, Bree, exactly what I just said right now. If you're doing so good in your credit, you're gonna have access to more credit products, right? And you'll be able to maximize things later. You tell them, hey, I'm looking to open up a business. You do things right, how we mentioned business card in the business class. You go right off the back, they're gonna give you. You open up the business, says you open it. Here's 50 grand while you at it. Do you want another 100? You know what I mean? So you're gonna have access to more credit products, especially if you're a Navy Federal, because Navy Federal, like I mentioned before, they do credit within them their own people. So they love to grow within the family. All right. So savings, lower interest rate means paying less over time. Securities, easy approval for rental applications, utilities without large deposits. Opportunities, better jobs, prospered in financial or high responsibility roles. You get a peace of mind, greater flexibility to handle financial emergencies. So if you do have an emergency, you have the funds there, right? Also, Breed, if you max out your credit card, try to now go into a line of credit because the way the interest rate works are different. One is flat, one is amortization. So,
All right,
uh,
thank you.
tips to build and maintain good credit. Right, pay bills on time, always meet payment due dates. Keep balance low, maintain a low credit utilization ratio, 100%, ideally 10%. Uh, check credit reports regularly, review your reports for errors and inaccuracy. I do this all the time. I told you guys I wake up every morning. That's the first thing I do. Before I wake up, I pray, and the next thing you know, I'm checking my credit score, right? If you guys need access to that, go on my link in the bio. I got a 7-day $1 trial. After that will be $24 a month, and you'll get access to 3 credit bureaus every 30 days, $1 million identity protection, dark web watched, things of that nature. So if you need that, go check it out on the channel. Avoid opening too many accounts, space applications for new credit. Use credit responsibly. Open only borrow what you can afford to repay. Establish credit early. Start building credit as soon as possible. Secure credit cards is a beginner's method, so that definitely works. Um, uh, okay. Credit health check. Ask participate to think about their current credit habits, right? So think about um your habits that you're doing. Excuse me. Think about the habits that is not allowing you to grow. Think what you need to do, right? Discuss common credit mistakes and how to fix them. Late payments, right? We discussed that. Mixing out credit cards, maxing out your credit cards. We talked about that, keeping it under 30%. Well, ignoring your credit reports. This is crucial. Like I mentioned, you have to check your credit score all the time. Your credit report all the time. There's always inaccuracy, there's always errors, and you might want to dispute them. This might hinder you from growing. Uh, the floor courage. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? You could guys could share any personal experiences or challenges that you might be having, and any difficulties that you might be having with building, or maybe staying at the same level. What it is that you might want to do. Floor is open for you guys. No, okay. Uh, Personal credit is a powerful tool that can unlock financial opportunities when managed responsibly. And I encourage you guys to take you know, actionable steps to build and maintain your credit, as we discussed from the very beginning of this meeting. Um, Remember, guys, this is a long-term race. This is not a sprint. You don't sprint a marathon. This is not a marathon. You want to be able to move slowly so you can understand how things work. Uh, in the long term run, this is long term beneficial for you to gain good credit, and for the future, for you to be able to retire. You know, it gives you access to open up so many different doors just by having good credit, right? So remember, guys, credit is a tool to help you advance into the wealth department, right? You want to be wealthy, you want to be able to, right? I understand as humans, you don't want to um you don't want to survive. You want to live life thriving. You want to live life comfortable. Some of us might be granddaddies or grandmas or new mothers, whatever it may be. But in the long run, you want to be able to help people out, help yourself out, put yourself in position to grow. And if you can't do that, then you're gonna live life struggling every moment. And you want to be able to nip it in the butt now early, start building early. And now, let me say that. Now that I say this, I want to say this. I want to say that, guys, you can mess up your credit 20 times and go back and fix it again. You can mess it up, fix it, mess it up, fix it, mess it up, fix it, mess it up, fix it. It doesn't matter, right? That's the good thing about credit. You can't do that with your cash. If you have 100 grand and you use it and you mess it up, you're gonna have to go another 10, 15 years trying to save up another 100 grand. You can't do that. You could borrow faster than you could save it. That is the key. Remember that. You could borrow it faster than you could save it. Remember, guys, stay up to point with checking your credit score, checking your credit report. I will do this on a daily basis. Check it every single day. Since guys have any questions? No? Okay. So look, I got some questions that beginners may ask, and I got some answers for you guys. Ron, I seen you up there. You said you had problems with getting things removed and staying off. Who's removing them, and how are you removing them? Right? Bree, thank you so much. My main questions were answered. Maggie, thank you as well. I appreciate your participation. Miss Thomas, help your children early by adding them to your car as authorized users, and don't give them the car. Correctly use the car when they name to keep it going. Yes, that's amazing as well. You did it yourself. Were you writing the letters manually or printing them out, typing them up? And what was your method of disputing? Sorry, guys. Let me just answer this. But I know I was sloppy typing. So there was a point that people were using the 609 letter. Everybody was using the 609 letter. You got to be able to know how to use the letter. It's not just sending the letter. You got to have proper wording. All my letters for all my clients are all different. I don't send the same letters to nobody because it just gets put through a machine. Uh, and then everybody has the same letter. It's just gonna get pushed to the side. You want to be able to make sure the first thing you're sending is a validation to for them to verify the things on their account. You want to kind of let me give you guys a little clue, especially for you, Ron. You want to send a letter, right? And you want to backdate it 2 weeks. You want to backdate it 2 weeks, send it in. That only gives them a 2 week window for them to reply and answer to you. Once the things get removed, you should be getting information saying this product was removed or this information was removed. You want to keep that, right? And you want to keep that letter and be able to use that letter for the other bureaus and say why would you not able to remove it when TransUnion removed it? Why wasn't you able to remove it when Experience removed it? So you want to keep those letters. It helps you propel and remove the other things from the other credit bureaus. It worked for a little bit, but I didn't know what I was doing and why I was doing it. Uh like I said before, yeah, you could hit me up if you still need the services. You can tap in with me. Since you are a MBA member, I would definitely give you beautiful dope rates. I believe I spoke to you and I told you, so you already know. I'll take care of you. Um, so let me ask these questions. What is a credit score? A credit score is a three-digit number that represents your credit worthiness. It ranges from 300 to 850, with higher scores indicating better credit worthiness. How is my credit score calculated? Your credit score is based on factors like payment history, 35% credit payment history, credit utilization 30, length of credit 15, credit mix 10%, and new credit 10%. These are some of the questions you guys should be asking. How do I check my credit score? You can check your credit score through free services like Credit Karma or directly from a third major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. I will, bro, putting my ducks in order. I will work with you soon. Yeah, man, you hit me up whenever you're ready. You know, I got you. What is a credit report? A credit report is a detailed summary of your credit history, including accounts, payment history, inquiry, is used by lenders to evaluate your creditworthiness. How often should I check my credit report? You should check your credit report at least once a year, which I recommend every day, or at least once a month, right? You can get a free copy annually from annualcreditreport.com. What happens if I miss a payment? Missing a payment could lower your credit score and may lead to a late fee payment. Late by 30 plus days are reported to the credit bureaus. Stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. So this is why it's critical. One late payment messes you all up. All your work is just removed. Credit utilization is the percentage of your available credit that you're using. For an example, if you have $8,000 limit and you use 300, your utilization is 30%. Can checking my credit score lower? No, checking your own credit score is considered a soft inquiry. Excuse me. And does not affect your score. Only hard inquiries from lenders can have a major impact. Uh, what's the difference between secure and unsecured credit cards? Secure credit cards require a security deposit, are great for building credit. Unsecured credit does not require a deposit and are based on your credit worthiness. How can I improve my credit score quickly? Pay all your bills on time, reduce your credit card balance, dispute any errors on your credit report, and avoid opening new accounts unnecessarily. I got a couple questions here. Peace or I have to drop. Okay, thank you, Em. I appreciate you. Ash, can you get a late payment removed? You could get it removed if you made a few other payments before. Also, if you if they 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, that's also different. But if you have let's say 5 years with this company and you miss one or two payments, more than likely you could ask them to remove it for you or update it to pay. But yes, it is definitely possible. Any other question, guys? Well, that's all I got for you guys. Try to wrap things up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit the chat. unmute yourself. You guys could talk. Uh, and I'm here. I'll give you guys a few minutes to gather yourself. Ron, like I said, whenever you're ready, you can hit me up. You already know we're on the Discord. Um, Mr. Ash, if you need help with that as well, you can always reach out to me. Anybody else? Well, I appreciate you guys. Lovely. I also, guys, I will be setting up my calendar. I will be putting everything up on the Discord where you guys could set up consultations with me, 30 minutes to an hour. I will be setting up different tiers as well for credit repair, credit building, and learning how to leverage your credit so you could pick my brains and ask me whatever questions you want. All right, guys, if you guys don't have no more questions, you guys already know what I need from you guys. Go on the Discord, show me love, build confidence for people, let them know that we're here. I'm trying to help as many people as possible. So you should, just put me down there, man. I appreciate you guys, man. Nothing but love. Thank you guys for joining, Ms. Thomas. You already know I appreciate your help all the time. Uh, I feel like you break down some of the details of the things that I'm talking about in the chat. So if you don't know, go check the chat out. Um, yes, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I feel a little bit under the weather, but I still pulled through for you guys today. Friday, I will be dropping my last business credit class for free. After that, it will be in the Discord. You guys will have to either have a tier or a membership with the Discord, and to be able to get that information. I'll be dropping some gems for the business class. So tune in Friday at 8 p.m. I'll be here. All right, guys. If you guys are done, no questions asked. Well, I appreciate you guys. Much love, sir. Thank you for another awesome class. For letting me. You're the best, man. You've been in all my classes from the personal and the business, so I truly appreciate your time and your effort. Thank you so much. All right, guys. That's peace. I'm checking out.